Hello everyone, so we are coming to the end of the year of 2025 and I just wanted to go over a little bit my predictions for 26 in terms of anything tutoring. So I find that in terms of what I see myself and also statistics that I've seen over the last few years, that there are still an increase and demand for tutors and private education. So this has not stopped, it's still going, so we are still gonna have some work, which is great. But I find that there is a change in the way that either the parents, if it's for children, or the adults themselves, how they actually choose the tutor that they want. Now, when COVID was there, obviously everything went online. And that's also the first time that I personally had to put my lessons online, which obviously I had to do to carry on. And so there was this huge boom in the online world. And I know of many tutors who actually kept their business online after this point, because then it was like, okay, they moved it over and then it worked probably better, or it was easier, or the students just wanted to keep going like that, and then they just kept going, and which is perfect. And maybe that also today it's still the case. Now we have passed a couple of years since then, and I feel that what I see is that I think because of that, and also just in general how things have become very much online, people are coming back to the fact that they want this personal interaction, and that also works for tutoring. Okay, so I find that people are looking for face-to-face tutors. They are looking for that kind of human contact that you do not have on online to that degree, and I really think that's the way forward in 26. So people, they do still obviously look for tutors, but they have changed the way they choose their tutor, and one of them is, okay, is it online or is it offline? And also it's way more, how do they connect with the tutor themselves? It's like not just, okay, could we have a tutor? The interview seems fine, let's just go and that's it. They want to really get to know the person that they are bringing into their family in a way as a tutor. So this will change. I feel it's already been changing since when I did all my sign-ups in September. I, for the first time, well, there are different factors to this, but for the first time I am completely fully booked on all my small groups. Okay, so I have over 100 students every week. And obviously I did actions to make that happen, but one of the things is that people were looking for face-to-face tutoring. So that's something that I feel really is going to be a big thing in the next years that are coming. Another thing is that as a tutor, we can take this want of having, really this closer relationship, and we can make that show in many ways. And I am not talking about the fact that the tutor is going to now kind of, just give the whole private life to their clients, right? And to all their students, and they need to know everything. It's like, no, not at all. It's like I post very little about my personal life to my students and to the families of my students. But it does mean that I do certain things so that my clients, they feel that they are connected to me and we have a certain relationship, because I want that too. I want to be, close to my families. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to obviously have the best service. So there are different ways that you can do this without having to give out your personal life, all the details and all of this. One of the things is that you can keep them up to date more regularly. So I know myself that before it was a bit like, well, this they do not need to know that, I don't know, that I have to think of an example now. That, for instance, that I was going to be replaced with someone else for one lesson. Before, I did not think that would have been important. It's just the lesson is there. It's in my contract that if I cannot make it, then someone else will be there. And if I can't find anyone else, well, then I would reschedule and so on and so on. And then they would come, and then there'll be another teacher just for one lesson, and that'll be it. Now, that I do not do anymore, and maybe that's not the best example, but I do keep them in the loop on many more things than what I used to. Even things like, last year I have like a window that is on the roof, right? So sometimes it'll be really hot because, it's not like I could close. I mean, obviously it's closed, but there's nothing to cover it. So then we would put something like an electric thing that would go down and close it, so it'll be fresh in the summer and things like this. So then I would inform the parents that, okay, now I have this, so it's more comfortable for their children and also for the adults that I teach. So things like this, I'm keeping them way more in kind of just in the loop on what's happening, what I do. When I get like a postcard or a little present, or someone creates a necklace for me, I really make a big deal of obviously thanking the person, but also, putting it several times on my social media. And, even if I do like something, I'm on holiday, and then sometimes I think about my students, right? I think of them all the time, really. And I would then take a picture and say, okay, I'm on holiday, but I'm thinking of you guys. Things like this, just simple stuff that kind of, when I think of it, then I do it. I do let them know. And this way, it just makes it more personal, right? And they are really like, okay, I'm in the loop of what's going on. And they feel they see personal things, which they are, I guess. But I do make a point of letting them know. And I feel that's really important in the year that comes, that we really kind of, keep the parents included, or the students, if it's the adults, keep them in the loop. Also find out, what do they want, really? Like, what do they need? What do they want? I ask, and I do surveys, and I do all sorts of things, because it's important that we know what they want, and they feel included, right? And they feel they have a say, and that way it also creates this feeling of like, okay, well, we want to continue, and it gives them this, I feel, it gives them this feeling of like, okay, I feel completely part of this, and I want to continue, I want to stay, and so on. So it's really important that we kind of upper this connection with our clients, so they just really feel heard and understood and part of your business. Because the moment it becomes just kind of like a routine thing, and they just feel part of, not really the business, they obviously are part of it, but that they feel it's more like an automatic, then that's where you will lose out. Okay, so human connection, personal connection, even if it's a little message to say Happy New Year or whatever, it really makes a difference. In October, I think it was, I start my lessons in September, and in October I sent I wrote a postcard to every single student of mine. And yes, it took time, and yes, it cost money, and the stamps, they also cost money. But I took that time to just personally write to everybody to say thank you for the fact that they are in my business this year, and I really appreciate it, and so on. And I'm telling you, the response was just amazing. They loved it, and they really felt like, oh, that's really nice, you know, that personal touch, that little thing that just say, you know, thank you very much. It means so much than what it costs to send that out to every single person. Okay, so I want to suggest that you look at next year, okay, so 2026, and see what can you do to just make it a little more personalized. What can you do to your students? And it doesn't have to cost anything. Okay, I'm not saying, you know, it's like go and buy a big hamper to every client. What can you do so that each client that you have feels more personally connected to you? Okay, they feel valued, they feel important, and they feel like, wow, you know, he or she is really going over and beyond, because that is what's going to make a difference, and that's what's going to boom your business. Okay, so see what you can do, even if it's just a little email with the first name, and just say, you know, just want to say, you know, whatever it is you want to say, and not make it like a bulk email, make it personal. Okay, or anything like this. Doesn't have to cost you anything other than the time. Okay, but you know, that is worth it in terms of what you gain. Okay, because that might do that they want to stay with you longer than what they have thought of previously, maybe. Okay, so see what you can do to really connect up with all your clients in the new year. Okay, and it might just be the Happy New Year message that you can start with, to like, okay, good, so, you know, we're starting fresh, Happy New Year, wish you all the best, whatever you want to say. That might be a good first step. Otherwise, see what you can do. But personal contact, that little extra but personal attention, is what's gonna make all the difference in 26. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I wish you all a Happy New Year. Have a great next year. And if I can help in any way, let me know.